What's up, guys? It's your boy Johnny Go Vroom. I'm absolutely loving this Extreme Bull Rocket electric unicycle that I have been riding. I mean, guys, it just seems like a completely limitless EUC. And frankly, it kind of is limitless for all intents and purposes. I had to come up with the term terminal velocity for an EUC. So for me, terminal velocity for this wheel is right around 48 miles an hour. But if you wish to go and touch the sun, Roger Hajala just posted that he hit 56 miles an hour on this electric unicycle, guys. That is the tiniest wheel, 56 miles an hour. People are really sleeping on the Extreme Bull Rocket. I mean, I feel that way because the market share for the Aero has just completely dominated, even though the Aero on paper and in practice really doesn't come near what this wheel is. I mean, just the same, I don't think that it's trying to compete with what this wheel is. I think people really appreciate the idea of being able to have this grab and go kind of fun wheel to learn on. But I'll be honest, if I was buying something for kids, if I was buying something for a teenager, I mean, I don't know why I would be buying them a $1,200 brand new device. I would probably, honestly, if I was buying something for a kid, I'd buy them something used and a beginner class product that doesn't go more than 15 miles an hour. But if I was going to spoil some kids or spoil a teenager that had done extraordinarily well, then maybe I would go with an Aero. But for me, myself, the Aero just doesn't work for what I need in this real world use case. Now, in this episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about the crazy wreck that has been circulating, and it's gonna go back. Let's just pop right into it. I first saw this clip in a Telegram group, and this is from Russia. This is recent. You see when this is happening, okay? I see so many people constantly want to have arguments about who has the right of way when it comes to cars. That's what happens, okay, guys? This is a tragic accident, and granted, in this situation, it doesn't look like she was the one that had the right of way, but guys, you've got to be careful. Poor thing, she didn't wear a helmet, and this truck just took her all the way out, guys. So whenever you see me jumping a median or getting out of the way early, it's because I know that I will always lose a fight with the car. Some people move around like they will absolutely win that fight. And, you know, guys, my condolences just goes out to her family, guys. This is just such a tragedy. And it's been circulating so much inside of all of the Telegram groups. Everybody has seen this. And, you know, people are saying, you know, just wear your helmet because she, I guess, wasn't wearing a helmet. And if she was wearing a helmet, then maybe she would have survived. But guys, that was a Mack truck that just laid into this poor thing, okay? You know, so you'll see me doing things sometimes. You'll see me jumping a median. You'll see me early braking. You'll see me getting out of the way. You see me constantly. I talk about this principle, wide berth. You've got to give wide berth, okay, to smaller objects on the road, like pedestrians for their sake, okay? Strollers, bicyclists for their sake. But when it comes to automobiles, guys, you have got to stay out of their way. Don't try to have this conversation like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, it was my right of way. They should have done this. Guys, they should have done doesn't mean anything after you have been cranked by a Mack truck, after you have been plowed by a Prius, after you have been clipped by a Chevy Tahoe. It doesn't matter, guys. Please, for your safety, you know, all of this riding stuff, like the styles that I see in New York, specifically, I'll say New York. I've seen it in Chicago, and I've seen it some in California, okay? This whole punching through red lights, this whole trying to weave around car stuff, this is only the beginning of this. I promise you, especially as these wheels are getting faster, we're gonna see a lot of idiots out on the road that don't understand the way that voltage sag works because they think they can go fast in their wheel because the wheel is capable of going in a straight line. They can go in a straight line and suddenly they feel the rush and they think that they are professional and they want to get in an ego pissing contest because they've got to have the fastest wheel and they don't want to have a beginner wheel. They don't want to go through the learning processes. So we are going to see a lot more of this stuff happen. Just mark my words, okay? Don't end up a meat crayon, guys. Don't do it to yourselves, all right? Be safe. Do things that you know you need to do for your own safety, for your own peace of mind. You know, when you come up on a blind segment, if you're coming around bushes like this, I'm constantly peeping around those trees, trying to make sure that nobody is going to hit me, trying to make sure that I constantly have the right of way. Anytime that I come up to a blind turn, I'm slowing all the way down. It doesn't matter if it's an inconvenience. I am slowing down for a blind turn to make sure that I have plenty of clearance and safety. And ultimately, that if I need to slam on my brakes at a blind turn, that I can absolutely do it, even if that blind turn doesn't put me at liability. Assuming it's a pedestrian blind turn, I make sure that I slow the hell down so I do not hurt people, guys. And I promise you, these cars are not going to be able to slow down for you. You know, even there, when I just made my crossing of that intersection, I always check to make sure that there's no cars that are coming inside of the scope of my of my line of travel. You know, I make sure that nobody's going to be turning in, because I assume that they're not going to give me the right of way. I assume that they are not going to see me. I assume that their mission is more important than mine. Do not let this happen to you, guys. Keeping your head on a swivel isn't just a trope, it's a real thing, guys. It will help you survive. I've been riding in traffic on rollerblades ever since I was 12 years old in the streets of Atlanta. You will always lose. Don't let this happen, okay, guys? It's really, really, really not something you're gonna come back from. You know, and even if you do come back from one of these injuries, you're not gonna be the same. It's going to change you. You know, it's not worth it, guys. It's really, really not worth it. But since I'm out here on my Extreme Bull Rocket, I did want to talk about something else, which is actually cool. It's kind of on the other side of it, but also still, like, in mentioning, dudes, keep yourself safe. And this is also why when it came time to try to do the speed runs on the Extreme Bull Rocket, I stopped when I felt like I had hit as fast as I possibly wanted to go on this wheel. It doesn't need to go any faster than right around 48.5 miles an hour. You are going to feel like you are about to come off the ground. That said, one of the coolest dudes in the EUC space just did something super duper awesome, and his name is Roger Hajali. If you don't know who Roger Hajali is, he is one of the premier EUC racers. I think he's like the team captain for eWheels race team. I'm pretty sure that's the case. And he has been doing modified chargers for a long time and modified wheels. Like, if you want something homegrown as far as like charging goes with like the EUC stuff, then you want to holler at Roger. But that said, the cool thing that he did, man, okay, so you know I went 48.5 miles an hour at 65% PWM. That was plenty fast for me. This is like, I do the EUC YouTube kind of vloggy space, and y'all are hella mean anyway when I start doing ridiculous like speedy stuff. So that ain't my bag, really. My man is a professional racer. This is what he loves to do. He loves to push the limits. If the wheel doesn't give him enough limits to push, he's gonna build limits inside of the wheel to push. This dude has been modifying wheels. I remember one time he made a M10-3 that was like ridiculously fast, y'all. So if there's anybody in this space that's qualified to take a 14-inch wheel to 56.2 miles an hour, it is Roger Hajali. So if you guys want to start trying to push your wheel ridiculously fast, know that it will cut out on you. Know that you will get hurt if you hit the ground. I know that I don't have to tell you that, but I'm gonna say it because I don't want to hear nobody complaining or crying when they try to go 56.7 miles an hour, or they want to go 58 miles an hour or whatever, trying to think that they could go crazy. And when something bad happens, you can't cry about it, guys. That's the thing. You know, you can't cry about it. And, you know, try to make sure that you limit the expression of your ridiculousness to a place that's only going to allow for you to get hurt. Nobody else, because nobody else is involved with, you know, your hooligan antics. You know, they don't get to have the adrenaline rush by proxy. So make sure the splash zone of your ridiculousness only gets you wet, you know? During this commute, there's all sorts of opportunities for crazy things to happen. That was a pedestrian right there, and I always keep an eye out for that blind turn, because I can't really see what's happening at that bus stop. And then I decided that based upon a lot of the previous videos and rides that I had done, that I was going to switch over to the left side of the road, which is where I am now, and to the kind of the oncoming side. Two parts, two reasons. You'll notice that I'm riding completely in the shade. If you look where I'm at right now, there's absolutely, normally cops hang out right there. So that's another thing to keep out for. Even though I'm blistering right now, I'm not. I'm really going about 27, 30, like 32 miles an hour right here. Maybe. But you're going to see me start to slow down as I get to the edge here because I can't see what's behind that turn. You'll see where the light's coming out. Slow down and go. That's how you try to keep yourself alive. You constantly have to be analyzing your surrounding. That's one of the things also that I kind of like about the Extreme Bull Rocket. Being that it's so small, it slams on its brakes and it picks up speed in an absurd fashion. And then again, here, this is me trying to go slow because I don't know if any of these people are going to try to turn in or if these people are going to try to pull out real quick. And there's a pedestrian right here. You know, I didn't want to bother her, didn't want to startle her. So again, we slowed down. Here, being that there is a place for cars to turn, you'll always see me be really cautious about trying to get out here. And then with this oncoming traffic thing, sometimes I even bust the rule a little bit. Sometimes I might go during a spot where I know that the other traffic is completely locked off, and not necessarily when the crosswalk is completely available to me, because when the crosswalk is available to me, it puts me in the same line of traffic as the right turns. And the right turns don't yield. They do not yield for the electric unicycle. And there you go, you saw it again. So I had to slam on my brakes, let the other car out, and then this car pulled up super quick. That car that pulled up, the SUV, didn't see me at all. So, you know, it's a constant game with your life out here, guys. And if you think that it's anything less than a constant game, and maybe game is not the right way to say it, but if you think it's anything less than a constant, you know, survival tactics game of Frogger, then you're grossly mistaken. And again, me right here trying to make sure that I give wide berth to this guy who pulled up into the sidewalk, had no problem, not even looking at me the whole time, was on his cell phone. He had a Tesla. That thing drives itself. I feel like he should just let it drive himself, because him driving it did not do any justice for anybody. When they drive themselves, they give so much clearance for everybody else. And again, you're going to see me always double checking. If there's people, I'm going to try to go slow so that way I do not hurt anybody and I do not confuse any cars. A side note, it bugs me out a little bit that my electric unicycle is in the same category as a Rascal or a Roscoe or whatever the hell you call those things. The little self-mobility, the little mobility scooters and stuff like that. It absolutely trips me out that my electric unicycle is in the exact same category as that. So this is something that I've begun to do a lot more, and you know, some people are going to give me a hard time about it, but you see there's absolutely no cars there, right? There's not any tributaries of traffic. There's not an oncoming lane. There's not an ongoing lane. There's not turns in and there's not turns out. None of that stuff. It's just an opportunity for me to cross straight across the road without having anybody burdened by my presence. I'm not confusing any traffic, and I'm not having to worry about it at the same time. I'm not having to worry that somebody is going to come out and clip me. Somebody is going to come out and hurt me. You know, it's wild, guys. You've got to be cautious when you're out here. And that's going to be the theme of this episode. I've been riding in traffic, as I mentioned, since I was 12 years old, riding on rollerblades in Atlanta. I have been playing with cars for a long time, and I am still terrified. I think you're supposed to be terrified of them. You will always lose a fight, but I have some idea of how cars move when they are around each other, and that gives me a little bit more of a safety buffer. But I do not pretend like it makes me better or makes me invincible, because that is when you will get dead. Guys, you are not invincible. You will get hurt. The ground will break you. You will peel your skin off onto the ground. A car will shatter your bones. Please, fellas, please, ladies, treat it like it's a real thing, okay? Always, always, always be mindful that you will lose the fight. This is not a game. This is not a joke. Even though I'm dancing and having a good time right there, the suspension on this wheel is so good. It's so good. I absolutely love it. There's going to be people, I'm going to get out of here shortly. There's like, right now, there's going to be a lot of people in the comment section, and they're going to say, oh, Johnny, you do things that are dangerous all the time. You can, you know, they're going to pot call the kettle black. They're going to try to hit me with that. And I'm going to tell you this. You don't see all the nuances that I lend into making sure that I am kind to people in order to make sure I preserve my status on the road to my community. right? So where my community doesn't see me as an annoying little fly to be swatted, okay? So you will always see me do that. You don't see the ways that you won't see that, always anyway. You won't see how I'm constantly clearing traffic every single direction that I glance. 1,000 times it feels like a minute, just to make sure that nothing has changed, that I'm not going to get meat crayoned, right? Like, you don't see all of that. Additionally, the selfie stick dramatically changes the way that I ride in terms of what you are seeing and in terms of the speed. You're seeing things at a skewed perspective. I designed the way that I fling my camera around, the way that I move it around. I do that in a manner that makes the ride more interesting, that makes what you're seeing look intense and look fast. That does not mean it is always representative of the actual moment you are witnessing, guys. You know, if you're gonna pretend like you're invincible, at least make sure you've got some insurance, you know, or you can go and camp underneath a bridge and, you know, the nurses will come to you. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here and I'll let the rest of it play to some music. And yeah, man, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, guys, you know, stay blessed, ride strong, and enjoy the rest of the video. All right, we'll talk soon. Peace.